That's interesting. How about you, Chesa? Do you feel like? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I actually had a question I was gonna quickly ask, and that is, I'm not sure if Chesa, if you use a specific tag throughout all your gamings, like how Yo tries to use Yoruichi, obviously is a character from Bleach. But do you guys have like a tag that kind of screams that it's a female tag, or is it not really in a distinctive tag with that hints towards
kind of like genderly ambiguous, or is it like one that's like, oh, that's probably one either a girl would have or a guy would have, or do you keep it like kind of ambiguous whenever you play?
So my main character's name was Quantized, which is very, non-gender. It's a pretty nerdy name, if you ask me. And my real ID was Brian Reed. So that's like guy right there.
Why was it Brian Reed?
Yeah. A friend of mine gave me his WoW account because he didn't want to play anymore, and that's how I started playing WoW. And then he was in the military, and he went on a tour, and I just lost communication with him, and he never would switch it over to me, mainly because he was in Afghanistan. So I was just Brian Reed.
Okay.
Oh, so I really wouldn't know unless you got into voice comms.
Yeah, I normally would always have to explain why I'm a female with a real ID of Brian Reed.
I'm pretty sure that'd be interesting stories to tell about that.
All my characters were female anime characters, like that I liked, or that their names were cute or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just really like, if I like the character, I'm gonna use that name or whatever. Like even Chesa's from what? I can't think of what it's called. But she's from an anime, and I was like, oh, she's so cute. So I tried to make my character look like her, and I didn't. It was a fail, but it's okay because I really like the name, and now it just stuck with me.
So
that's pretty much me too, Chesa. I mean, it's like if it's an anime character I like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my characters don't even look female. None of my characters even look female. They are female, but they don't look female. I have like full armor on, nothing like sexy or anything.
Let's get into the outfits. Like, I know, like, and there's some, like, especially on the thread, the first thing that we started is how it's like, especially when it comes like the women sprites and games, as far as certain armor sets. It's even in SWTOR, you can vouch for this, how there are certain armor sets put on a dude, it's full, armored out, full metal ready to go. Put it on a girl, and it's just like a stormtrooper bikini, essentially. Same armor set, but just it's different for across the genders. And I'm like, why is that a thing? Like, and I know also there, some girls like to dress, or even guys to dress, in certain kind of ways for certain kind of outfits. So it's like, do you guys have any feelings as far as like how females are portrayed in the gaming, in the actual games, as far as armor goes, roles they go, as far as in the story, all that kind of stuff?
Well, I feel like, if you like something and it's cute, you should wear it. But I mean, I've never really liked that one armor set on a male character and a female character are completely different. I mean, I feel like it should be somewhat similar. Well, like, if you go back to like the vanilla WoW stuff, I think that's where it was really bad on the WoW end. I mean, you could just get something that like looked like a normal shirt on a guy, and then it was a teeny little bikini, and then what are you supposed to do? You got to wear the teeny little bikini.
I don't know. My hunter always looked homeless in vanilla. I'm like, can I get something that doesn't make me look like I've lived in the woods for, a year?
Well, then you get farther on and you look like a green lizard.
True.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say that some women who wear the bikinis on purpose are trying to get attention, or aren't that serious, or if they're dudes trying to like look at their character's butt in some weird way. But I mean, I've just never really been drawn into that, and I always hate it when the armor's always so different.
Across the genders, okay. How about you, Chesa? You like to dress your characters nice. Do you have any specific feelings about that, or?
I'm always like, you know what? This is a game, and I can't wear this in real life, so I'm gonna wear this here. What was that armor with the it showed like underboob, and I was like, oh my god,
right.
Yeah, and I was like, holy crap, that's so cute. Like I don't know why I thought it was so cute, but I did, and sure enough, like Chess was wearing it the next day when I bought it, and like the boots were hideous, but I still wore them because it was a set. Like they were ugly big boots, and you're like half underboob is out, so it's like you got. Even though the shoes were ugly, I was like, I want the full set, like, and it's just because I liked it. And even with what is it, Zozans
or whatever.
Yeah. Like if you wore that on your male character, you could see his whole chest was exposed. He had like little scarves, whatever, roby, whatever that is. But on the female, it was like her whole bodice. It wasn't just like the little bikini bra that they used to do. So I thought that was pretty cool too, and I liked that one.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have to realize that like my job, what I do in real life is connected to fashion, and I love fashion. I mean, you can ask Rix. We talk about my shoe buying habits on a regular basis. So it's like in real life, I do this. So why wouldn't I do it in a game? Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, do I walk around in lingerie? No, not on a regular basis. But then yet, if there's some cool boots that come out, I'm all over this.
Okay, like whenever I'm in my female characters, I feel like I had to like go out my way to like dress them as modestly as possible, because I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be like like, oh, you're one of those dudes who dresses their female characters like
because
like,
the server we're on.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like I made sure the one I got, made sure I got like masks for them, and I put them in like all these like robes and stuff like that. So like I don't want nobody getting no ideas. I want it about me or my characters, because I'm trying to play the game, man, and I want nobody. But they'll whisper me anyway. But like,
well, yeah, I mean the whispers. That's one of the things. I mean, it's like I avoid Fleet. And when it's like when they, the guild ship thing was the best thing ever for me, because that meant I didn't have to go on Fleet and just stand around, because it was like, it never fails. I would start getting the whispers like, nice Cathar. And I would be like, oh God, put them on ignore now. Because, and see, I love cats. I'm a feline kind of person, and I didn't know that Cathars was like a slave race. I was ignorant of this. It's like I start this, and then all of these people just start like, I want to tie you up in my dungeon, and I'm just like, what? I was totally naive.
Like, I kind of get just how uncomfortable it can be at times. Like even for me, like. Back when we couldn't get on like ships, we just had to stand around and like wait for like a group invite for a raid or something like that. Mm-hmm. Just be chilling somewhere in the corner of Fleet, and God forbid somebody would find you, and then you just get like a random whisper, "Hey, you're cute," and like just those words. I didn't know how to respond to that. Like I didn't know how to respond. Like I felt, I don't know. I felt kind of vulnerable at that point. I was like, what do I do?
That's when I played SWTOR.
Like
just sitting around awkward, waiting for people to get on, or trying to bum people to go do a dungeon with you.
And then you just get like those,
oh God, Tyrants just whispered me a picture of a slain. Oh God damn it.
And
I think part of the reason why I kind of want my characters to look, serious, a little bit more serious and badass, it just goes more with me wanting to be taken seriously and not getting much attention drawn to me when I am actually in a group of people.
and you want to be taken seriously by. So you have to make your character look serious. Because of course, I mean, I'm pretty sure people have gotten this at times. Like, you know, you have a character and you dress them up like, you know, little cute outfits. You'll think, oh, she's just there just to, you know, do the fashion contest and do all this whatever. She's not like seriously trying to raid, even though you're in the group, you know, that kind of thing. So like, I know a couple people who were taken like that as well, and especially with certain guild tags. It's like, oh, they're definitely not serious, you know. So, and I knew someone who also did the same thing as you. She was in this guild, Dark Hunters. I think her name was Madeline. All her characters, all female characters, always made them look like, you know, serious, like covered up armor, full armored characters. She was pretty good too. Like, mad respect her. Pretty good. So taken seriously in a good rating guild as well. But I wonder if that's why she did as well, because I never seen any of her characters dressed like, pardon the word, you know, revealing or slutty or whatever. They all looked like they meant business. And I guess that kind of also helped her image, because I've never seen someone not take her seriously. Well, I don't, but like someone like not take her seriously outside of the guild or whatever. And she was, and her role, actually, she didn't really do a lot of healing. She did actually a lot of tanking and DPSing, which brings us to my next point.
I mean, before we do that, I'll put my 2 cents in on.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Outfits. I'll go from a different game, Blade and Soul, similar to Terra. I'm assuming Terra's like as well.
Oh yes.
And that probably most people end up making female characters. Like I have, I think 5 or 6 tunes in Blade and Soul. Only one of them is male. The rest all female. My main is a Lindo, so dressed in like a normal, like looks badass, like a badass samurai ninja warrior chick. My other tunes are quite revealing. That's just all the outfits come out are just. You don't have a choice. I mean, like,
they're made for bouncy boobs.
It's the summer, so that we already have two swimsuit costumes that are on the shop that you can buy, and there's 2 other ones that we may or may not get. Like, so there's swimsuits, there's like schoolgirl costumes, and I actually, when I was streaming Blade and Soul, some guy actually asked me on my stream, like, why are you playing a female character? I'm like, the costumes look better on a female. They just half the costumes on the males look dopey. They just don't look good.
Some of them look better on females. They do. Like,
yeah,
this is not like in a, you know, aesthetically. Some of them just look, they fit the model.
Yeah.
Better.
In terms of like Star Wars, I tried to make my tunes look based on roleplay, like what their story is. Like if my tune is supposed to be, you know, an agent for Imperial Intelligence, they're probably not walking around in a slave bikini. I have one, just, you know, I use that as like an undercover thing, but like they're walking around in an Imperial uniform. That's what they should be dressed in. Stuff like that.
Yeah, not like the slave dancers tops walking on the ship. Oh, no.
I do have a question, because I'm not actually that well versed in it. And what are there any champions in League that you feel?
Oh yes. Like, as far as the base models go, none of the base models are too bad. But once you start getting into the skins, that's when you can definitely see some of the influence there. For instance, one of my favorite champions, her name is Aurelia, and her base model, pretty modest. And then you start getting into this skin that has been dubbed by the community Frost Butt Aurelia. Essentially, it's like an ice skin, but she wears like this skin-tight bodysuit, which emphasizes like her junk in the trunk, if you know what I mean, essentially. And then you have other skins on some other characters who definitely emphasize, you know, heavy cleavage showing, or that in general, or just straight dressing them up in, like, you know, slave dancers tops or whatever. And I've definitely heard people saying, like, you know, they wish could be a little bit more apologetic about it as far as what they're doing. It's definitely fan service, but I mean, people pay it anyways. Like, especially like some of the girls that I play with, it's like they know that it's trophy and fan servicey, but it's like, damn it, these skins are so cool, and some of them are, so we buy them anyway, just like the outfits. I mean,
some of the things that, like, I don't. I understand. I kind of get the fashion end of things, but what I kind of have a problem with, other than the fashion end of things, is like in SWTOR, the romance options for female characters. There is such a vast difference in the thought and the story and the stuff put behind those options for guy characters as opposed to female characters. It's like we were an afterthought,
Mhm.
and that pisses me off.
What are the differences that you've noticed?
Well, like, I mean, seriously, look at half of what who the romanceable characters are, and or is it realistic? And would you have anything to do with these people, like Pierce? No, 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 not in a million years. No, he's slimy and greasy and just like freak creepy. I mean, and then Bug Guy. I mean, okay, he's nice, but yet, really?
Didn't you pick Bug Guy?
I did because it was the only option. But I did not pick Pierce because I was like, no, I will go through this universe alone, thank you, before I will pick Pierce.
What about the? I think they released an. What is it?
No, it's not Pierce. It's the other guy. Who's the other guy? The one that turns on you.
Oh, Quinn.
Malvo?
Quinn. I'll take Pierce over Quinn.
Everyone hates Quinn.
I liked the bug guy. I thought he
Um,
was so nice.
He was so sweet. I think that was I don't know.
But like he
Yeah.
was gross because he kind of was part bug. I see what you're saying. But he
Right?
was the nicest companion I felt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, guys. I mean, we had Mako, who got annoying after 3 chapters listening to her.
For real.
I liked Mako.
Oh, I don't know. Every guy I've ever talked to is just like in love with Mako. Thinks Mako is like, and I'm like, really?
Like when I made my female Paratech, she was annoying. When I had my male bounty hunter, she wasn't. Like I'm not gonna lie. When I had my male characters, they partied up with all the romance options. But all my female characters went through their stories like nuns. Like, we're here for business. I ain't got time to have no feelings for nobody. I'm trying to save the galaxy. I made them all just completely swear off of it, like abstinent, all that kind of stuff. And like, I don't know. I didn't feel like I should be the one. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing romancing like Pierce or Quinn or something like that on my character. Because I mean, even though it's female, it's
Right.
still like my character, which like represents, I guess, me in a way. So I was like, I won't do that. But Lana Benico,
I was
love that.
I was about to bring up.
Oh my god.
I was
So,
about
yeah.
to bring up the Lana and Theron.
essentially, like when the new expansion of SWTOR, I don't know if it was purpose or whatever, but there was homosexual romance options for males and females. So essentially, the two new characters, you
That
could
was-
romance.
That was dangerous because when I played the story on Vix, I would always hit the float option.
And yeah, and then
Always. And
sometimes
then I got to that
like,
part, I'm like, wait a minute, who am I exactly floating with here? I'm floating with
You
the
have to
Sith
make
dude or the chick?
That was hilarious. that was so
that
funny.
would throw you for a loop sometimes. It's like like especially there, you have to make sure like because I don't know like especially that part. I think I hit flirt one time on accident for one of my male characters. I didn't know it was gonna be him. I was like, there's no way they're gonna let this happen. They let it happen. I was like, oh, well, let's restart the chapter then. And like literally, and I think that was bold of them to do that. Like I said, if that was on purpose, that was pretty bold of them to do that. Just
It
putting
was.
out there in the blue for them to do that, because like in our other stories, you couldn't even touch the same sex as far as going through the story. But I guess since it came out in like a relatively progressive age, I was like, hey, let's try this out.
I know
Without-
that there was a lot of talk, a lot of people wanting same gender romances.
Mhm.
Are you all, most of you, I mean, you all in Shotz probably remember Crimson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
she was always
Both of
big.
them.
Well, the INWF one.
Yes.
She was big into trying to get same gender romances.
Mm.
So like, I know a lot of people were pushing for that, so they eventually put those in somewhat.
Yeah. I don't know if they got a good reception off of it. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. Though I got to, finally give my characters a break as far as what they want to do. Going back on topic here, like I was saying earlier, like from what I've seen, just going back to like as far as especially in MMOs and stuff like that, or other character or other things where you have role-based playing, like you really don't see a ton of, I guess, females gravitate naturally towards playing like DPS or tank classes. I usually see them more as support classes or healers. And I want to know, like, do you guys see the kind of the same things in your experience? Or if you did choose one of those support classes, what was your reason behind doing it? Was it just for a natural inkling towards that over DPS, or what are your thoughts on that? Maybe start with how did you feel, Chesa?
Well, I picked a smuggler or scoundrel as my first person because I was like, oh my god, Han Solo! What? So I picked that, and then it ended up, I could have picked, being a gunslinger or whatever. But I was like, I want to be a scoundrel. Like, I don't know. Like, it just sounded right. And then I was healing, and then one day someone's like, you can be a DPS too. And I was like, oh, I'll try that. It was horrible, and I never wanted to do it again, and I just wanted to stick with healing forever. But I ended up having to have a DPS class, and what was my first DPS class? I don't remember. I think it was Gunslinger because I really liked the story, and I was really horrible, and people were like, oh, maybe you should try DPSing on your healer because you don't have any gear, because I wouldn't raid, I wouldn't do nothing on my Gunslinger, and she was just bad. But like, I hated the pissing contest that was DPSing. Like, I was not about that. Like, oh, why aren't you parsing this? What are you doing with your life? You're a horrible person. Like, I don't like that at all. So like with healing, I was like, I'm not gonna say I was like the best, but I'm not gonna say I was bad either. And I felt like I was more appreciated as a healer than a DPS. And I never tanked because no, but like it wasn't because I was like, I have to be a healer, I'm a girl. It was more like, this is cool, I like this, I'm throwing little bombs, like little green bombs at people, you know what I mean? Like it felt right. And
I'm DPSing my friends.
Exactly, I was on green numbers over red numbers, like I was just being dumb about it, but like I did not like the way people were being with DPS stuff. Like I don't like the extra pressure, which is weird because healers get a lot of pressure too. But like the DPS one was way worse because even people on your own team. Yeah, and I'm not about that. Like I just want to clear it. Like, and if I can help clear it by like, whatever Colto waves, whatever. Like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, that's fun to me, but I don't like the pissing contest. You only parsed 3.0. Oh my god, you're terrible. You should quit the game.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
But like, that's why I liked healing. That's why I picked support, and then I ended up supporting in League and support in Terra, and just support wave flew over me. But it was just because that's what I like.
Well, it's play style. I mean, it's like, you shouldn't be penalized for what you like doing and your play style. And I don't know. I get exactly where you're coming from, though.
But now, I forget. I think it was mentioned in the thread on Facebook, or it was mentioned someplace. And we even talked about it in the past when people started gaming. But the whole girlfriend syndrome. Someone would get their girl or friend or whoever play for because I need a healer to play with me, so two birds with one stone, get somebody to play healer. And I think we can safely say that there's a good chunk that do play support of females. Mm-hmm. They might just may like the play style, like your Jashadi. She doesn't want DPS. It's not her thing, but she likes healing. Yo likes healing. It's what they like doing.
I did DPS in WoW. I mean, my Warlock was pretty badass. I mean, I had higher numbers than most of our raid team when we were doing, Naxxramas. But then they nerfed Warlocks, and it was like everything I started trying to do, nothing seemed to fix it. And that was my favorite character. It's like they just broke them at that point. And I was like, and then we were at the point with my guild that we couldn't recruit a good healer for anything. We couldn't find anybody. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do this. So I leveled my healer pretty much overnight and I was like, oh my god, why have I not been doing this before? I love this, and it just went from there.
I don't know. I started actually as a melee DPS and tank. I guess I've always sort of gravitated towards the get an axe and chop someone's head off. But then I switched to hunter because the guild needed a hunter, and at the time I was leveling my hunter, and I really loved collecting pets. I guess that's a girl thing. So I went to hunter, and I don't know. I personally I like playing all. I like playing tank, healer, and melee and range DPS. I'm actually trying to decide what to play for Legion because I honestly can't decide right now. My main in Draenor was a shaman, a ranged and healing shaman, and I don't know. I was thinking about keeping with my shaman and playing melee shaman because that looks really good. But I was also thinking about playing a priest, which would be a support role. But I really hate DPSing as a priest, so I don't know. I guess I like all. I guess to add on to this, my husband is a healer, and I was DPS when we met, and he's always been a healer. So I guess I haven't really run into this thing where women are only healers and men are, the tanks and DPS. I've sort of run into, women are in all roles.
Did you notice one thing? I have seen women all roles, especially in terms of like higher rating on Sotor. Like I started seeing, more women in the tanks. Chesa knows, Sonnet, and then
Sonnet was the shit.
Sonnet was the shit, and then Ari, and then Trav, and everyone else from 4 or 5 and stuff like that. But did you notice, Sue, since you were into the hardcore rating, did you notice that the higher up you went as far as rating guilds, the more you started to see more females in different roles as far as that went, or did you just kind of see like overall it was just kind of more of a mixture? Because for me personally, when the more higher up I went, the more I started seeing them in different roles.
Well, ironically, I was normally always the only female in the guild. That wasn't like by choice. It's just how it happened. The few times I was in a guild with women, they weren't serious raiders, and I think most of the time they were ranged DPS or healer or a mix of the two. I did know a really good female tank. I mean, she was amazing, and another melee DPS female. What I didn't see that much of, though, was actually PvP female in any role. It seemed like that was sort of a guy thing, and I started PvPing just because women didn't seem to do it, although I'm terrible, so,
Unless they want you as their pocket healer.
Yeah.
No, I played on my hunter, and that was always so much fun, and I'd either get my husband or another guy healer to play, and I always thought that was kind of fun and funny at the same time.
Yeah.